Mookie Betts is back, but unfortunately for the Dodgers, Craig Kimbrel never left. Odell Beckham Jr. claims that he blew out his knee way before the Super Bowl. And USC baseball. Maybe they found the right guy. We'll talk a little bit about that. Hi, I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is Faithful Angelenos. It is July 4th, 2022. Wifey and I are still spending the founding of a great nation in a sleazy hotel somewhere off the Vegas Strip. It's all right. It's part of life. But we want to start off by thanking the new subscribers who have joined into the channel. If you like the content we've been putting out about LA sports for the last 4 months, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notifications bell. Hit that. We put out videos between 9 and 10 a.m. every day to let you know it exists. Sharing is caring. Let other people know we exist. And yes, comment. For I am not perfect. I could have chosen a better hotel. July 4th, we're going to talk about Independence Day a little bit in a few minutes, but hey, this is a sports channel. Let's get straight to the scoreboard. Now, Mookie Betts still has a cracked rib, but he did in fact play yesterday. Couple of doubles, scored a couple of times, but he was not enough to outmatch the force of will that is Craig Kimbrel, who blew the save. Allowed a 2-run home run in the 9th inning. Dodgers lose to the Padres 4-2. LA still has a 3.5 game lead in the NL West, so they got a little distance between them and the pack. Meanwhile, I would like to congratulate the LA Sparks on matching their season-long winning streak of 2. Slow clap. Let's all appreciate it. Sparks 84, New York Liberty 74. Meanwhile, today, Colorado is going to come in. They'll play the Dodgers at 6 p.m. That's Julio Urias. He's 6-6. Kyle Freeland 4-5 for the Rocks. It is also Galaxy Game Day. The Galaxy will host those evil, loathsome, contemptible Canadians. The Montreal Impact, or whatever their nickname is now. That game will take place at 7:30. Galaxy fans, have they improved? Remember about a year and a half ago when everybody was like, oh, we've turned the corner. We've hired Greg Vanney. It'll be so much better than all those other schlubs that we've had as manager. Have it? Has it? Hate to say it. They didn't qualify for the playoffs last year. And if the playoffs started today, the Galaxy would be on the outside looking in. So, I don't know. It's about time we really start holding the front office accountable for this garbage show that's going on out there. By the way, the Sparks played yesterday. They'll also play today. They're taking on Phoenix. That game's at 4 o'clock. Austin Barnes has signed a 2-year extension with the Dodgers. He's spent 8 years in LA so far, so let's be real. They like him. And it can't be that big of a deal to sign a backup catcher for a while. Relief pitcher Blake Trinan, there is still no timetable for his return. He has right shoulder pain. There's been talk. Are they going to shut him down? Are they not going to shut him down? They're still holding out hope. Here's a note. Craig Kimbrel, before giving up that home run to blow the save, he was hit in the back with a batted ball just prior. Now he's going to miss a couple of games because of that. Also, Dave Roberts is saying there is no change in the closer role whatsoever. So I think the Dodgers are better served just bludgeoning their opponents to within an inch of their lives, lest we get this guy coming out trying to pitch again. Free agent wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. claims that he tore his ACL way before taking part in the Super Bowl with the Rams. Claims he played half the year without one, even before he came to the Rams. So I'm sitting there wondering, do you believe it? First thing I did was I went to the internet, called a couple of people who work in healthcare like I do, and asked if it's physically possible to run without a healthy anterior cruciate ligament. And the answer actually is yeah, you can. If the knee is stable, if the knee is strong, you can. But you still have to wonder if he's lying. First of all, we didn't hear about this lack of an ACL thing until yesterday, like 4 or 5 months after the Super Bowl, right? Does Odell Beckham Jr. strike you as a low-key, keep things on the down low kind of guy? Of course not. He strikes me as the type of guy who would take a photo of his knee every day and post it on Instagram, right? And on top of that, if you've jacked up your knee before going to the Rams, they have these things called team doctors who run a physical before you get signed. So no, I don't buy this story. I really don't. I could see him, say, getting injured somewhere in the playoffs and thinking his knee's okay and avoiding the doctor, but half the year sneaking it past everybody because he's so clever? No. Jaime Jaquez Jr., Will McClellan, Mac Etienne have not been cleared yet for basketball activities over at UCLA. I'm not going to say this is a big problem, but this is a concern, wouldn't you say? I mean, Jaquez, he had ankle surgery. If you watched any Bruins basketball last year, you saw that guy hobbling around pretty good. But apparently they're like, nope, they just waited till the end of the year for having surgery. Meanwhile, McClellan and Etienne, those guys are both former top 100 level recruits, and they didn't play at all last year. So we're under the assumption that the Bruins are just going to come out with this great recruiting class and smoke people. Are we really so sure? Just wondering. LAFC have waived defender Daniel Henry, or Henry. Who knows with these funky Canadians how they pronounce names. You say Henry, I say Henry. We never know. Doesn't matter, the guy's out of a job. Anyway, he also plays for the Canadian national team. Look, they waived him. Honestly, he only played 5 games for the Black and Gold, so this is a move that's not going to have any impact, positive or negative. The LAFC, they already added Juventus legend Giorgino Chiellini, so somebody had to go. The part-time player. Go find another gig. USC has hired former major leaguer Andy Stankiewicz as the coach for the baseball team. And yes, I paused on Stankiewicz because, no disrespect, dude, that's a hell of a name. Anyway, Stankiewicz played 7 years in the majors. He also managed a while in the minor leagues. Trojans hired him from Grand Canyon University in Arizona. Here's the question, because we honestly don't know what this guy is going to bring, right? The Trojans, these are not your father's Trojans under Rod Dado, the program that won a national best 12 NCAA titles. Nobody's matched that. But they haven't reached the NCAA playoffs since 2015. They've had 5 coaches in 16 years. Matter of fact, there was going to be, allegedly, there was talk of a player revolt if USC didn't fire the last coach, Jason Gill. So Stankiewicz is coming in with a lot of work to do. This was once the premier job in the country, not so much now. So it's July 4th. I wake up next to my very beautiful wife in a below average bed. And you know how it is. You roll over, you look at the phone, and I look at Twitter first before anything else. I look because I like Galaxy Twitter. I like talking soccer. All I saw on my timeline was a bunch of blue check marks, you know, posting narcissistic photos of them flipping off the American flag, telling me how much they hate this country. I'm not taking part in that. It's not going to happen. See, it's not going to happen for a variety of reasons, but one of the primary ones is because I happen to be the son of an immigrant. My father came from destitution and struggled to come across the ocean, saw Ellis Island, did the whole thing, went from basically didn't even have 2 nickels to rub together, wound up having a career, wound up marrying his own wife, my mom, getting a house, literally the embodiment of the American dream. My father died on Christmas of last year. One of the proudest moments in his entire life was getting that little tiny American flag that you see when somebody takes the oath of citizenship. And I have seen citizenship ceremonies since then. When I lived out in Hollywood, I would walk past Staples Center. They have them in the convention center. And you could just see the tears streaming down the eyes of people who come and join this country. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to tell you love it or leave it. But I'm not going to take part in a let's hate our country rally. That's not happening. My father would be rolling over his grave if I did. And he doesn't have to roll over in his grave because that's never going to happen. So, enjoy a beer. Enjoy 6 beers. Try to match Joey Chestnut for how many hot dogs that he's going to eat today, and then drunk drive home under a blanket of fireworks. It's your country. You don't have to love everything about it, but maybe, just maybe, lower the middle finger. After all, there's always a ballot box a couple of months away. Now, if you enjoyed today's broadcast, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos, where we're trying to build something on behalf of LA sports. I'm James. Thanks for watching. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Corta El Queso production. Take care.